Hello, Odie.
Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's happening?
It's a moment in time.
Moment in time. I fully agree with that.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
All right. Tell me about it.
I just had a birthday.
Oh,
What's today? 7th?
today is the 7th. Mm-hmm. July 7th.
Okay. I had a birthday yesterday.
You certainly
And
did.
I started thinking about birthdays, which I never think about. Right?
Right. Okay.
You don't have to stand over there. You can come over here.
Why, thank you. I can join you.
Sit beside me and
All right.
let me entertain you for a moment or so.
Please.
I can't spend very much time with you because I have some other things to do.
Oh.
But
okay.
here's what happened. This moment in time, you might dig it.
Mm-hmm.
I have my writing compo thing on.
Right. Okay.
Because I've been writing for a long time with a ballpoint pen, I discovered that I could resist having that terrible carpus thing.
Carpal tunnel.
Yeah,
Yes.
by
yes.
using, hey, where'd you get those earrings from?
Oh, I've been around for quite some time.
Wow.
They're about 25 years
I
old.
thought your earlobes were turned to glitz or something. Glitter.
Okay.
No, but it's an opportune time. For some reason, correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
you start thinking about things sometimes at a certain time period, at a certain age. Today, for example, we went to visit a friend
Yes.
who has just recently had his left leg amputated below the knee because of diabetic
Right. Repercussions.
problem.
Right. Yeah.
And we hadn't seen him in a long time, and we expected somebody to be full of doom and gloom.
But it was a really good visit. It
Yeah,
really was.
fortunately,
a good visit.
he wasn't.
Totally enjoyed. Yes,
I was
indeed.
expecting that. You were, Palmer was there, and another friend of theirs named the Coach. Anyway, we're sitting around.
And Yvonne.
And Yvonne, and the wife, how could I forget Yvonne?
Okay.
But we're sitting around, and you and Yvonne went over there and started talking about whatever you were talking about.
Women do thing, and then the guys were with the guy thing.
Yeah, it was
Right.
like that.
Okay.
It wasn't willful, arbitrary separation, but
I hadn't seen my girlfriend in a while, so I needed
so
to
it
check
had
in
to
with
be
her. Yeah.
things like that. But we got to somehow or other talking about how it was that our lives have evolved. I think when you get to be 84, 80, let's put it at 80.
Okay. Right.
You start reflecting on times and people and things
Right.
that you never would have thought about ordinarily. Somebody was talking at some point, and somebody said, "Oh, that was when I was 60." And I thought about it. That's interesting. I mean, you know, I'm the writer,
Yeah.
and somebody says, "Okay, you're writing about currently a book that I'm writing right now concerns a guy in high school."
Right.
And my friend over here, the one we call the Coach, asked, "Well, you know, how can you be writing about high school?" So, many years ago, I went to one.
Write about what you know.
Yeah, I mean, I said I could write about 2 or 3 high schools.
Okay.
You know? I didn't go to one.
Elementary school.
Okay,
yeah.
I went to 17 elementary school, so I
Right.
could write about elementary school all day long.
Right.
But some of the things happened so fast it went beyond me
Right.
in grammar school, but certainly I can remember high school.
Okay.
That was that moment in time. It sort of drifted around from person to person. This guy, these 2 friends, including the friend who had the amputation, had been Marines together, as you well know.
Yes. Yes.
And in a very short time, they were taking us,
Yes.
in a moment, they were taking us back to what it felt like to be young men crossing into Kowloon, China. where they were not supposed to go. They were in Hong Kong
Okay.
on a tour of duty,
Uh-huh.
and they had been given instructions not to go into this little section. I think it's like Hong Kong is adjoining China.
Okay.
It is China, but
Right.
it's separate. And Kowloon was the same thing.
Uh,
So they went and managed to not get caught and talked about it.
mhm.
And it got into forbidden things, you know,
Ah.
things you should have done, but you did and got away with it.
Men's conversation obviously was much more interesting than the woman's conversation.
What were you talking about? Let me pause for a
Okay,
minute.
well,
I don't want to get into your stuff.
Okay, no, we were just talking about the work that is required, and wife Yvonne, she wanted to, she wants to get into the gym and she wants to do some things, and there's certain things, even as you do your wifely duties or the fact that you love this person and you're helping them out, that there's also some things that you want to do for yourself. Okay, and talk about how important that is, that that there's a give and take relationship, should be always a give and take relationship, and so that once he's able to be more mobile and everything, she definitely can do some of the fun things she wants to do, because at the end of the day, it's like a job. Why would you be in a job that you just hate to go to, day after day after day? Preferably you're into something that you like to do, which consequently helps to add more years to your life.
I can attest to that.
I know you
which
can.
Which is why I can say
I know you can.
we got into that. Maybe it's at that point in time that I can begin to relate it to what it is that I do, because my friend over here, I'm not going to name names at this point, is asking, what would you do if you had a situation, just the way you described it, that may have been lucrative, may have offered you a decent living, but it was something that made you feel miserable.
Right.
I suggest quit. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Palmer says, listen to Odie, he did that. He did that.
Yes, he did.
Okay. I thought about it for about a half a second. He's right.
Yeah.
At about, 35, I decided to not do any of the things I was supposed to do. I didn't want to be a husband. I didn't want to be a father. I didn't want to be a provider. I didn't want to be any of those things. I just simply wanted to be a freelance writer. So I hung my shingle out, which said nothing.
Yes.
I had no credentials.
It's interesting that artistes, air quotes, artistes that are really seriously or passionate into their work. This is all basically they need. I think was it Pablo? Was it one of the artists? Probably several of the artists complained.
Gauguin was one.
Gauguin, the one that fruit on the table. Fruit.
I can name a whole bunch of them.
Anyway,
The Impressionists.
Yeah, well, it's the type of thing where the children showed up, the artist is painting, and they're like, Papa, you have no time for us. And he's like, when you were being made, I didn't expect you. Okay, I didn't plan for you. I'm playing for this. Okay, I'm playing for my art.
Who was that?
Okay, my art is the thing. That is what I live for. You've got life. I'm giving you that. Go.
Okay, I think you get into something that has to do with whether or not you have decided to do your life's work or to work your life away.
Picasso.
Picasso?
I think it was Picasso.
Picasso early on, he was involved. First of all, I think his father was an art teacher.
Okay.
So it was fairly easy for him. But what we're talking about is people like...
His love for his children was separate from his work.
Yeah.
He didn't have as much time for his children.
Well, his children, I don't know how he got about that. He had a number of families because he was a busy.
Yes, he was busy.
But I'm thinking about people like myself, and I was asked this at one of these things you go to, there were seminars or group of, what was it that made you decide to dedicate your life to something that did not, first of all, guarantee you a living, didn't guarantee you fame,
Right.
or fame or fortune. So what do you use as a justification other than the fact you were selfish enough to say, this is what I want to do?
Yeah.
I think that that bears some looking into, because if you're not feeling selfish enough to do it, you won't do it.
Yes.
You'll always be blaming somebody else. Well, I had to mow the lawn,
Right.
or I had to walk the dog, or my mother got sick and I had to take care of her. And all that may be necessary, that may be what you have to do, but the important thing would be this thing that you decided you wanted to do. And at the end of the day, as they say, it gives you, I think, more satisfaction than any other
Right.
possible thing you could be doing. I mean,
Less regrets if you live with it. Yeah.
Wouldn't you hate to have it on your tombstone? He wanted to but didn't,
Right.
or she wanted to but didn't
Yeah.
didn't even try. I mean, I like the idea of feeling free enough to be able to sit down and explore your wildest imagination. Case in point,
Yeah.
I was looking at this strange little book. There's a brief story behind it. I'll give you the briefest.
Covered by Tony Gleason.
Covered by Tony Gleason, the artwork.
Uh-huh.
Terrible artwork. Terrible, terrible.
Which was requested. He wanted
I asked him to do this.
Terrible cover and or
The
gimmick to holidays. I mean Halloween.
Well, everybody knows the story. I once wrote 17 books for a now defunct publishing company called Holloway House. And they published the books without hesitation, except that they were often guilty of putting horrible covers on the books. The books sold, so that's another story. They went out of business. Before they went out of business, they sold their assets to Kensington Press.
Right.
Kensington Press decided not to republish the Holloway House books.
Right.
But I came across a clause in the Authors Guild brochure or something that said, if an author has books that have gone out of print or are no longer being published through no fault of his or her, then they could be reissued through
iUniverse.
Through iUniverse.
Right. And that's what they were doing.
And that's where we went with 17 books, which were reissued. And
I've got to find out where the iUniverse books went, because they apparently gave that collection of books to another.
It's all over the place.
Roadways or something, some other corporate company.
Roadways.
Right. Yeah. So.
But aside from that, what I'm proudest of and I'm happiest about, and I wish I had one of the books with her picture on it right now, was the fact that Zola Salena-Hawkins took a number of the books and photographed wonderful covers. And could I ask you to give me this book right here, The Snake Doctor, as an example? I wanted to, it's right there at the top. I wanted to have book covers that would be reflective of, or just one is enough.
Well, I'm going to give you
two. Okay. I wanted to have book covers that would be reflective of how we thought about things, and I came up with these two books. This book is called Conspiracy, and it shows
Conspiracy.
What is it? Escalator going down.
Right, escalator going down. One is going up and one is going down. They meet kind of midway. So was there an exchange of anything?
It's about a government releasing a super addictive drug on the ghettos of America that they call Bantustans. The snake doctor, this one, has the photograph of, can you?
Yes.
Has the photograph of a friend of ours named Rashid Bahati,
Yes.
who is every inch as proud and arrogant as he looks on that cover.
Which is very good. He had to be the snake doctor.
Yes, he's a snake doctor.
Right.
So
and then I did the cover on the
and the
back.
rear cover is just sort of a,
I'm not
well,
gonna
it's a long story. So, having new covers on these books, I wanted to give some indication of how weird it was to work with a publishing company that had no respect for the artist, for the writer, except for the fact that we made them some money. That was Holloway House, without a doubt. They cooked the books. They cooked the books in a wok. I mean, I think along with cilantro and ginger and cumin and a bunch of other things.
Ask Iceberg Slim.
I think you could call it curried books.
Ask Iceberg Slim. Or his family. Yeah.
All, hey,
Right, yeah.
we could talk all day long.
But moving on.
Moving on. I wanted to have make a satirical joke. What is the greatest revenge is telling the truth about something?
Yes.
Not imitation, telling the truth about something. So I wanted to have a book about that moment.
Yes.
Because that moment was really interesting. I've got all these books with these terrible covers running around, and everybody say, "Oh man, you got 17 books published," and I'm hiding my head whenever I see someone pick up one of the books with the horrible covers on. So I decided to do a satire of it.
Of the company.
Of the publishing house.
Yes.
A friend of mine named Tony Gleason, who was a superb artist,
Very nice. Yeah.
was picked because he did some work for Holloway House. I asked him if he could do a horrible cover.
Right.
And we had to talk about it for a while because his work is so superb, he couldn't imagine himself doing a horrible cover.
Yes.
But as you
But
can
he
see,
rose to the occasion.
yeah,
Yes,
he came up with a cover that doesn't say anything about what's in the book, which is what most covers are supposed to encourage you to think. This is what the book is about. This is not what the Holloway House books were about, but this is what his cover was about.
Yeah. It does cover some of the stories, like the one where the guy is dying and he's, he's doing the Japanese thing in the Japanese movie where it's just,
Oh, yeah.
going on and on and on and on. It's like, he's not going to die.
He's not going to die. I mean, why die so soon? Okay, moments in time about the creative process and what it takes out of you and what it puts in you. I think you talked about how it is that doing something that you love keeps you young.
Yes.
I'm not so impressed with youth. I'm not so impressed by the idea of staying forever young. I think it's
vital.
over.
I'm saying not just young age-wise.
Okay.
Like young spiritually wise, because I've known some people in their 20s who are very old.
Yeah.
Okay, I can consider them almost like grandparents, but they're only in their 20s and 30s because they're taking life entirely too seriously. And they're entirely worn down. And they're tired, they refuse to give up the hold of past issues so that they're not really living in the present. And there's no hope for their future because they're stuck too much in the past.
That sounds like meditation walking.
Yes, it does.
How did explain that? How does that process work?
Well, what is it? It requires a lot of proper breathing, right? Because you need to nourish the body with air, breathing, as you go from the past.
That's the step back.
Yeah, you step up with your left foot and you kiss the earth, kiss the present, You know, you're appreciative of the present that you're moving into. And as you bring your right foot forward and step into the future, and you kiss the earth, let the future be nice. Then you leave the present, which then becomes the past, as you step into the future.
Into the future.
And so you are in the present and in the future. But as you leave the present, you step into the future.
I got you.
Okay? And you appreciate each moment. You appreciate your past because hopefully...
Every breath you take.
Yes. And apparently it's the foundation. It is your foundation, but you can reinforce it with positive lifestyle, with eating correctly, nourishing your body, being around people who are positive, not negative, people who encourage you and encourage your dreams. And so, meditation walking.
Yeah, I can see all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's where you are young at heart. You're fresh. You know.
Fresh.
Fresh.
Yes.
Yes.
I can see it.
Yes.
I can see it. Yeah.
Eager so that when you wake up you can go, showtime!
Yes. She's mimicking a little thing that I'm guilty of doing every morning when I realize that I'm awake, I didn't die in the night,
Yes.
and showtime!
Yes.
And from that point on, it's on.
And then I know he's awake.
As what the Shakespearean thing says, the whole world is but a stage and we are but actors upon it.
Yes.
I'm prepared to perform my act for the day.
And I get to take a front row seat.
Yeah. yes.
And enjoy the play.
I think, when I look at it sometimes, whole days I can think of have been spent doing nothing but acting.
Yes.
Somebody calls you up on the telephone with some scam and you act your way through that.
Right.
I can think of some brilliant lines I've come up with someone calling and say, "Is this Hawkins?"
Odie.
And I
No.
can always say,
honestly, no, it's not.
"No, it's not." Well, is this number 346? It could be.
Did you call it?
Is that who you calling?
Mm-hmm.
And who are you?
Right.
And they will get into that thing. I think, and sometimes the scammers are the ones who bring you really into the moment because you must be willing to face it.
Right.
Because their game is so at the moment.
Well, like I asked you guys today, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 grown men, except Coach didn't participate in what you guys were doing. But I asked them, how can you guys lie with such straight faces? And one of them said, it takes a lot of practice. I was like, my God.
You wanted honesty and you got it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which often reminds me, I used to tell teenage girls growing up and being the elder in the room, that when he has you against the wall and his arm is on the wall and he's looking down at you saying, but I love you, baby. He does at that moment.
Well, the other moments when he might love you too, even more intensely.
Yes.
No, but
it goes on. Yeah.
If you think about it, and you get into I was thinking of something that comes from Henry Miller. That said, if you think about life with your head, it's a comedy.
Yes.
If you think about life with your heart, it's a tragedy. Yeah. And in most cases, I think most of us think about life as a tragedy,
right.
And we don't happen to see it that way. I mean, I think it's one of the reasons why in our trips about the city and about the country and other countries and so forth, the persons that you tend to be most drawn to, who supply you with the most joyful moments, are little kids, babies who are doing little things that seem so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
to people who think they're funny, you know.
But kids, their appreciation for life, or seeing life through their point of view.
Oh, my toe tastes good.
Yes, okay, that, or like Bella, she's taking swimming lessons, and Ava's taking swimming lessons, and
Oh, you're talking about the young stars.
yeah, young
the
stars,
5 years
right,
old.
right, yes, indeed, and younger that are, I guess Braylon will be doing, and Austin will be taking,
Sure.
but it's just a fantastic time that children are being born, and before they're a year old, they're in the swimming pool, okay, swimming about, oh my God, okay.
A year later, they're at the
Yeah.
computers connecting with
Yeah.
other people across the world or something. All of that
Mm-hmm.
is a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at a time, and I know it might seem impossible to think.
Mm-hmm.
It might be incredible to think. But I'm looking at a time when some of the kind of intuitive things that children bring us
Mm-hmm.
will just be commonplace.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to think of peace outside your door. I'm very positive, except when I'm negative.
Yeah.
You'll be able to think about peace outside your door. Okay, you won't have people intruding on your sense of peace
Right.
by
Right.
destroying your peace. I'm thinking about the recent bombardment we had of the obscene 4th of July.
Right.
I'm saying obscene because
Yeah.
if you want to honor something like the Declaration of Independence of a country, why not do it with silent fireworks?
Yes.
Just
I
sparkles
love
going
the
up in the
sparkles.
air
I love the sparkles without the noise.
without the bombardment.
Yes, because you think about veterans, you think about
People who've been
neighbors been in war
our
zones.
neighbors who've been through Cambodia, where
Right.
it was war. I mean, when anybody, any veteran, anybody who's heard of cannon,
Right.
whether you were in a wartime
First
or just
responders.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That and just so the fact that people feel the need to use all of that money to make all of that noise, that some people who are in war zones would appreciate just a moment of silence.
You know why? I'm with you.
Yeah.
You know why I think they do want to make the noise? First of all, it has something to do with the fact that a lot of us are practically deaf and we don't hear.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything unless you can hear it loud because we've been overstimulated to the point where
Overstimulated.
subtle sounds, I'm thinking about, our love of Indian music and how many times I've had, not very many people because we don't play it for very many people, but when someone comes in this space and Ali Akbar Khan is playing, or Ravi Shankar,
Right.
or even the early Miles Davis,
Ah.
and somebody says, "Oh, what's that?"
Mm-hmm.
And you realize the microtones and the subtle nuances of the music are missing them, or they're missing those.
And I think that's part of the things that I enjoyed today about the friends that we were visited, that they identify with things like you say with the music, even if it's doo-wop, okay, that they identify with something that you can hold dear and identify with too,
You can be subtle with them because you shared enough of this life experience you had, enough of these moments to be able to do it with a flick of an eyelash or just this little smile about something that happened. I was thinking we had a little thing going on at one point when me and several of our friends, we all got high as often as we could, smoking illegal marijuana, which now, of course, is almost recreational. Let the girl run, for God's sake.
Yes.
But we were talking about what it was like to go to the Monterey Jazz Festival. My friend is driving a camper with the high thing. I could never think of driving anything that was...
Well, he's been exceptional all his life, so go ahead.
Okay. This friend, like some other friends. But two things happened. He had been a military policeman in the Marines. Hey, a military, so he knew how to handle authority. At one point, we're in the camper of this. We're in the
Shell.
in the interior,
Right. Yeah.
in the driver's seat, and he's rolling a joint as we go up Highway 1 or something. Anyway, the Monterey Jazz Festival, and the police stop us, and he takes the joint and puts it behind his ear, jumps out of the vehicle, and the cop. First of all, he's a fairly big black man, and the cop was a fairly big white man. I'm sitting up looking at what's going to happen about this,
okay.
and he put Marine on him. Oh, what is it, sir? What is it? Well, I stopped you. There was a reason for you stopping. It wasn't there? Joint behind his ear, right? Joint behind the ear. What can I do for you? What union were you in? 357 Tigers. Oh, that was fantastic. Next thing I know, they were talking about what would have happened if they had gone to China and some.
Okay.
All right, sir, carry on. And he gets back in the vehicle. And I'm asked, what was it about? He says to me, well, you were in the Army, you wouldn't understand. Okay. Here we go. Somehow or other, we wound up in a gas station because big vehicles like
Guzzle.
they need a lot of gas.
Right.
And how we did this, I can't figure out to this day. We went in, I think the lower thing was high, and the exit was a little lower.
Right.
And it wasn't measured to deal with campers that high. We went in, got all the gas you could possibly want, and on the way out, I heard something rip, like canvas ripping, and I looked in the rearview mirror, looked back there, and there were these 5 or 6 guys at the gas station looking in distress because we had taken the front part of the gas station,
the covering,
off. And I said, so man, I think he got out of the car, out of the vehicle, pulled the thing off. It wasn't anything but just some tin stuff in it. Pulled it off, laid it down on the ground, and we waved to them, and they waved back, and we kept on going.
Well, I guess because they can put it back on. But
everybody thought it was so funny. It was so funny. Nobody shot. Nobody, it was...
Well, that's true. So there was a time when people laughed more. And
you think so?
Yeah, I think so. That they it's like in high school, your high school time, you would perhaps box.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody might have a knife or something. But somebody wouldn't go home and come back to shoot somebody.
Not with an Uzi and not with a...
No. There is acceptance of a difference of opinion, okay? And I think that's part of what I like, when getting around with friends or associates that don't mind, you have a different point of view.
Yeah.
And that's good, okay? We're all not the same. We're all not, little nails in a box.
Can I make a confession?
What's that?
I did it today.
Oh?
I did it today like this. We were talking about the current neo-Nazi development and so forth. Okay. Yeah. My spin on it, my
point of view.
My framing of the situation is that you have a collection of, unfortunately, they're white, 99% of them. And they're resisting the inevitable. The earth is becoming more colored, or what's left of it, and So if you feel threatened by the development of a population around you that is doomed to overcome you, then you either join them or you resist them, you fight them. Unfortunately, some of these people have felt that the best thing to do is just obliterate our history and so forth and so on. I decided to take, just for the sake of the, I decided to play the white man.
Oh yes, I do remember that. Okay.
Well, I did it today, and it was funny because it's okay. Look, you guys are fighting me. Okay, you outnumber me because one of the things I do know is that your little secret weapons that you're holding there between your legs are creating populations that I can't create.
Right.
If you know what I mean. So, I either have I have a number of options. I can gerrymander you out of existence. I can do things like make it difficult for you to be recognized as a human being. That is to say, I can obliterate your history. I don't have. Somebody may ask, well, how did all these people of color, especially African Americans of color, how did they get here? Well, if we have no history, then he won't have to explain. He can just say, well, they dropped.
Bad enough we lost our language.
Well, and everything.
Bad enough we lost our culture from there.
Well,
so, you know.
I would like to.
I would like totally to, lost, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I would totally disagree with you because I think we had something happen that was so subliminal and so ethereal that you can wind up having African Americans who were raised by thoroughbred, white bread eating Protestant Christians who still somehow or other have some kind of Africanity suffer surface in them.
Right.
I don't care. I don't know whether it's that beat that you put on your bongo drum or the way you pronounce nine or what, but somewhere, somehow, it surfaces. I mean, it's like I equate it to the story that I wrote once of two ladies who were enslaved in some place called Gold Coast. And they were stripped naked and put on board a ship for a 3-month voyage. But what they did, one of them put in her hair 2 okra seeds, and the other put 2, I believe it's 2 black-eyed pea seeds. And the first thing they did when they were taken to their plantation was go out back and plant these seeds.
Gotcha.
I think what we've done is the same kind of thing. You know, there's something that surfaces in us, from us,
I can appreciate
at times that has never been snuffed out. And sure, you would believe if you had 400 years to snuff out somebody's whole total humanity, you wouldn't have anybody running around talking about their Africanity, but you know, here we are. To some extent, we have suffered, but I don't think the kind of nihilistic suffocation that would have happened if we had completely surrendered and not become souls.
Identities,
and not,
right.
We our identity was taken, but we renamed ourselves souls.
Right.
I'm a soul brother, you're a soul sister. That means something. How did it come about that now? Am I getting off the track here? Or is
I think we've run around the track quite a bit. I hope those listening were able to follow the
convolution of the moment?
Yes. Anyway.
Hey, just having fun. Hope everyone has a beautiful evening.
And enjoy each other's point of view.
And enjoy each other's point of view. And give it a try. When you wake up tomorrow morning, for those who get up late, that's cool. For those who get up early, that's cool. But when you become fully cognizant of the fact that you are awake, just gently, you don't have to scare anybody now. And just call out softly, not real loud, showtime, showtime. You can do it 3 times if you want to.
Right. Be sure to stretch if you're older. Be sure to stretch.
Before you say it?
No, after you say it, be sure to stretch before you get out of bed so that your body knows you're getting up now, because you don't want it to make any mistakes when you're falling down.
I like the one where they did it on Saturday Night Live the other night, where they were having some kind of argument, and the dude got up too soon to carry his point, and said, "Oh, I got up a little bit too fast.
Okay,
His
right.
blood pressure went up."
Well, right, okay.
Don't do that. Don't do
Okay,
that.
right, okay.
Showtime.
Be mindful of your body.
And you're mindful of your mind.
Be mindful of your mind.
That's all I got to say.
Drink.
At this moment in time.
time.
It-Ness.
It-Ness. You have to read the book.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This is enough.
All right.
All right.
Well, let me go back to what I was doing.
Writing.
What was I doing?
Writing is fighting.
That's right, as usual.
Writing is fighting.
Writing is fighting. Pow, pow, pow.